Hello, this is Mr. Eason with Homework Help. Last class we talked about just the dimensions of prisms and how we could think about them as layers. So today we're going to talk about how to actually find the volume being the number of cubes that would fit inside a box. So to introduce this, we're still using actual small cubes and building prisms. So we've got a prism here that's built, and we're trying to figure out how many cubes there are. And since you don't have the prisms in front of you, there's probably some kind of strategy you need to employ other than I counted all the cubes. So we're going to look at a couple strategies here, and then you guys can decide which one you prefer to use. So here what I've done is I've actually separated our prism in two different ways. On this top left one here, I've separated the prism. I've taken the layers off from top, middle, and bottom. And so you can think that if the top layer, which could be like this one right here, has 16, and there are 3 layers of 16, you could possibly solve 16 times 3, and you would get how many cubes there are. That would be 48 cubes. Similarly, on the bottom right-hand corner here, I separated the layers from left to right. So we have, the left layer, the 2 middle layers, and the right layer. And each layer, it's hard to see there, are 12 cubes. So if we have 4 layers of 12 cubes, I suppose we could do the, same thing. We could do 12 times 4. Which you may know as just being 48. So there are 48 cubes again. So no matter how you slice it, pun intended, it's going to be 48 cubes. So now we're going to look at another strategy that might be easier for the students to do other than visualizing the layers. So in this strategy, it involves listing the dimensions of this prism. So I'm going to label those dimensions. If we are talking about this layer right here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 long. So we can label a 4 there. I'll just draw an arrow up there. Over on the right-hand side, we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4 layers. So I'm going to label the 4 over there. And draw an arrow to it. And then we count how many layers there are all together. And you can count that in a lot of different ways. Any direction you're counting from top to bottom. So we could go 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, or really 1, 2, 3. There are 3 layers there, so we're going to go ahead and label that with a 3. And then what we noticed in class is if you were to multiply those 3 dimensions, you're going to get that number of 48 again. So one strategy you could have is to do 4 times 4 times 3. There are benefits and drawbacks to both strategies. One drawback to this strategy is that if you're not confident in your labeling ability and counting, there are lots of sides that you may label by accident. You need to label only the 3 sides that you need. And so that is one drawback of this strategy. Hopefully this helps for your homework because you've got a few questions similar to this on it. This has been Mr. Eason with Homework Help. Thanks and have a good day.